Thank you all for being here this morning. For nearly 4 years, together with the people standing here, we've been fighting against gun violence with initiatives and policies to protect local families and children from firearm tragedies. We've supported stricter gun safety laws and expanding background checks, and the use of red flag laws to keep guns out of the hands of dangerous criminals, including those accused of domestic violence and individuals with mental health issues. But today, we are here to talk about another policy I am introducing, this time on Tuesday, to keep our residents safe and eliminate bad gun dealers from getting County of San Diego contracts. So the big story is that to carry out their duties to serve and protect, law enforcement agencies, including our sheriff's office, need access to firearms. The county's procurement team seeks bids from companies that deal in guns, and we eventually enter into contracts with these gun dealers to purchase firearms and equipment. This is necessary to keep our communities safe. But as part of this procurement process, we need to ensure that our county is doing business with those who are compliant with state and federal laws, and only with those who are compliant with state and federal laws. And if they are not, they should not be getting our business. United Against Gun Violence found that at least 90 California law enforcement agencies have purchased firearms from dealers that did not comply with gun regulations. So for example, one vendor, LA Action Police Supply, has secured contracts with 67 California law enforcement agencies, including the County of San Diego, totaling over $18 million worth of firearms and ammunition sales. But this dealer has over 40 violations of federal firearm laws since 1995. 40 violations. This is unacceptable. Our county should not be making purchases from these kinds of companies. We should only be buying our firearms from companies with clean records, companies who implement strict security measures and prevent theft and unauthorized sales. So the policy our board will vote on tomorrow, the policy I am proposing, is drafted to prevent non-compliant gun dealers from receiving county contracts. Sometimes the best ideas are not your own. Most of the policies about gun safety we have passed at the county were put on my radar by national organizations and community advocates. Many of these policies have passed in other jurisdictions. Brady, Team Enough, Gifford, Safer California, and San Diegans for Gun Violence Prevention are just some of the groups I've been able to count on. Many of their members are here, and I thank you for all that you do. So when it comes to this county firearm procurement ordinance, I want to thank San Diego City Council member Monty Von Wilpert, along with City Attorney Mara Elliott, who introduced this bill and got it enacted at the City of San Diego. It's the Ira Sharp Firearm Accountability Act, and we are looking to follow in their footsteps. I knew we needed to do the same thing countywide, so we borrowed their excellent model. For those who do not already know, Ira Sharp was not just an advocate for gun violence prevention, he was a champion for this cause and a friend to this office. Early in our work together, Ira brought together advocates, elected officials, and community members, knowing we are stronger when we act together. He understood that real change happens when we collaborate, and he tirelessly worked to make our communities safer. We unfortunately lost Ira last June, but his legacy continues in all the work that has been done and continues to be done around ending gun violence here in San Diego County. Ira and his wife, Roseanne, founded Never Again California after the Parkland tragedy. Ira was elected to the Brady Campaign to Prevent Gun Violence National Board in 2021. He played an instrumental role in passing AB 893, which banned the sale of firearms and ammunition on the state fairgrounds. And he also helped launch the State Safe Storage California project, bringing together elected officials and advocacy groups to push for responsible gun ownership. So just like the city did, to honor this great man, I would like to name our ordinance after Ira Sharp. for all that he did for us to keep our communities safe. I would like to take a moment to personally thank Ira's family, his son Andrew, who works for City Attorney Maura Elliott, and especially his wife Roseanne for being here today. Anyone who knew Ira also knew that Roseanne was not just by his side, she was his partner in this fight and an unwavering and fierce source of strength. We are truly honored to have you here with us today, continuing the powerful legacy that you built together. So I'd like to invite Roseanne Sharp up to say a few words about Ira, his commitment to preventing gun violence, and the work we're here to do together. Thank you.
Thank you. Ira tried to be an influence for good in everything he did. As Terra said, saving lives was his life's work, both as a national board member of Brady, a San Diego County Commissioner, a grandfather, a father, husband, lawyer, business owner, and volunteer. When Supervisor Terra Lawson-Remer initiated the gun violence reduction work plan, Ira worked with the county's consultants to make certain the data was accurate and inclusive of all positions. He believed that the report's key initiative of safe storage of firearms would save lives. When Brady issued its report on combating crime guns, Ira focused on the key finding. Nationwide, 90% of guns recovered in crimes are traced back to sales by just 5% of gun dealers. Ira saw Brady's report unfold another opportunity to reduce gun violence. The result, this act, which financially rewards law-abiding firearm dealers. This act uses the purchasing power of firearms for law enforcement to reward law-abiding firearm dealers. As a business person, Ira understood that rewarding law-abiding firearm dealers and attacking the supply side of crime guns was good business. As a taxpayer, Ira believed taxes should be used to do good to serve the community. This act combats crime with illegal guns that often end up being used in communities of color. I hear locally from the NRA all the time, enforce the laws. That is exactly what this law does. It enforces the laws, and it penalizes those firearm dealers who do not follow the laws. Most importantly to me, Ira believed in the power of women to accomplish good. He always supported my efforts with helpful strategy and positive energy. As a resident of this large and beautiful county, Ira believed, and we all know, that Terra's concern for human safety is fundamental and visionary. Her work in protecting lives from gun violence, mental illness, or wretched living conditions will save lives. Terra's proposed legislation will do good. With Ira's name attached, it is positive change for all of San Diego County residents. In Ira's memory, I ask that you leave today with a commitment to be an influence for good. Thank you. Now I'd like to introduce Pastor Richie Robinson.
Thank you. I'm here this morning just asking you to listen to our hearts as you are making things happen. So my whole thing is, I'm Pastor Archie Robinson, living in the Southeast San Diego area. And one thing we want to see is the legislations and things turning so we can stop all of this violence. I have other people here that I work with, which really makes a difference. And as we're working together, we're going to make some things happen for our communities. I work with Bishop Bowser. I work with Cast. And he works with No Shots Fired, excuse me. And so with all of that, I just want to say, I'm glad to be here representing everyone that is doing some great things.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. My name is Marnie Von Wilpert. I am a San Diego City Council member. I represent District 5 in the city of San Diego. I'm also the chair of our Public Safety Committee for the City of San Diego. I want to thank Vice Chair Terra Lawson-Remer for being such a strong partner in the work to prevent gun violence in San Diego County. Gun violence does not stop at city borders. I need my partners on the Board of Supervisors to enact similar gun violence prevention laws so that everyone in this region is safe from shootings in classrooms or workspaces or places of worship. The ordinance that Terra Lawson-Remer is advancing on Tuesday was developed by an incredible organization, the Brady Organization to Prevent Gun Violence, and was, as we heard earlier, a champion who we lost recently in Ira Sharp. So the number of guns used in crimes, even locally here in San Diego, has risen sharply ever since the pandemic. But research from Brady helped shine light on the major problem that while the city of San Diego was spending millions of taxpayer dollars to purchase firearms for our police officers, we weren't checking who we were buying from. Turns out we could have inadvertently been giving taxpayer money to gun dealers who break gun laws and let crime guns out on the street. So on the one hand, we're funding our law enforcement to go fight crime. On the other hand, we're supplying crime guns by buying from dealers who have bad firearm practices. So we in San Diego, we're the first in the nation to have a city enacting a law, we call it the Ira Sharp Firearm Dealer Accountability Act, requiring gun dealers who want to do business with the city of San Diego to show their record and that they are law-abiding gun dealers. Only by ensuring that taxpayer money goes to gun dealers that are following the law, that is how we ensure no more crime guns than necessary out on the streets. So this is the start of something big and impactful, because when San Diego County, I'm going to say when, passes this law on Tuesday, San Diego County will be the largest county in the nation to have done this. It'll make a big difference for the safety of our region, and it is a model for other counties to follow. So I'm very excited to be supporting Supervisor Lawson-Remer in this work and happy to answer any questions. But next, I will invite up Andrew Sharp, the Director of Communications from City Attorney Mara Elliott.
Good morning. City Attorney Elliott asked me to be here this morning to express her strong support for this legislation. This is the kind of inspiring collaboration that you've heard about, something that really makes a difference in our community's lives. I think people often wonder what's the outcome of all this legislation? How do we know it's working? And we see so many tragedies on television. It's easy to think that there's nothing we can do as individuals. But the fact is, in California, we know this type of groundbreaking legislation makes a difference. We know, according to the Attorney General, there would be another 140,000 Americans alive today in the rest of the country if the rest of the country had the same type of aggressive gun violence prevention legislation that we have here in California and in San Diego. And I say in San Diego because some of the best ideas start here. And so I'm very proud to be here and supporting this collaboration. You heard from the chairwoman of our Public Safety Committee who really spearheaded this, getting it through the city. And I'm so thrilled to be here with Supervisor Lawson-Remer, who's going to do the same thing at the county level now. These laws do save lives. They really make a difference. Thank you. I'd like to introduce now our youngest speaker, Beckham.
Good morning. My name is Beckham Arias, and I am a senior at San Diego High School. I've been working in the gun violence prevention space for about 3 years now, and I've been a part of Team Enough, the youth arm of Brady United. And as a teenager, I can tell you that unfortunately, my biggest concern isn't my weekend plans or my grades. It's about safety. And that's why I'm here today to applaud the responsible firearm procurement legislation introduced by Supervisor Lawson-Remer. This legislation is a major step in ensuring that public safety is our top priority. And I'm proud to say that as a youth person in San Diego, that our leaders are pushing San Diego County to lead by example, ensuring that taxpayer dollars do not support irresponsible gun dealers who fail to follow the law. San Diego is setting the standards for transparency, requiring that vendors can prove they comply with state and federal gun laws. This ensures that law enforcement agencies are purchasing weapons from trustworthy dealers who follow the rules and all safety guidelines. And that is why the city police immediately understood the necessity of a procurement ordinance. And of course, it makes sense for the sheriff department to require the same standards. And I'd actually like to thank the sheriff department for the role in the safety of our neighbors and our youth and the next generation of San Diego. This ordinance isn't just about how our taxpayer dollars are used, it's about holding gun dealers accountable and making sure firearms don't end up in the wrong hands. Because of a minority of gun dealers who do not abide by purchasing regulations, too often, dangerous and unstable individuals have been able to access firearms, and it has resulted in tragic consequences that we see repeated across the country. This proposal is a clear step in the right direction by requiring gun dealers who work with law enforcement to meet simple, common sense safety standards like compliance with federal laws and preventing theft and trafficking. We're ensuring that guns don't slip through the cracks and reach those who shouldn't have them. It's common sense, and it always has been. Law enforcement agencies in San Diego, better yet, law enforcement agencies in the United States shouldn't be doing business with firearm vendors who have a history of violations. You might think, but does this actually happen? Yes, it does. And it has been the focus of the State Attorney General, Rob Bonta, who I heard address the issue in San Francisco at the Team Enough conference. In some cities, taxpayer dollars are unintentionally funding bad apple dealers who do not follow our state gun laws. They're supplying law enforcement with firearms and profiting from it. We need vendors who prioritize safety and follow California gun laws. Why? It's simple. Because they prevent guns from being easily purchased by criminals and endangering us. I'm proud of my state's gun laws, and I'm proud of the San Diego County's gun laws. They are proving year after year that strong gun laws translate into saved lives. What really excites me about ordinance like this is that both sides of the aisle can and should embrace them. We've seen similar bipartisan successes in gun legislation at the state level. Like those measures, this ordinance is something we can all agree on, whether we are Democrats or Republicans. Our shared goal should be to protect our communities. So it should be easy to agree that we reward those who follow the law with taxpayer dollars and not those who break it. As a high school student, I can tell you that those who cheat or try to get around the rules to get ahead are not awarded with scholarships and awards and even college admittances. We have an easy opportunity here to unite and take action to protect the people we care about, our family, our friends. And for those reasons, I have hope. That's why I wholeheartedly support Supervisor Terra Lawson-Remer's leadership and re-election. Her commitment to protecting our community through bold, responsible action is exactly what the youth of San Diego need right now. By supporting this ordinance, we are demanding dealers to follow common sense gun laws. We are simply asking for accountability, and we're showing that our county is serious about preventing gun violence. Ultimately, we are preventing guns from reaching criminal hands by not supporting the dealers who easily supply them. I urge the Board of Supervisors to stand with her to protect our families, our schools, and the future of our county. Together, we can build a safer, stronger San Diego for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for being here, and we're now available for questions.